Megabox here. So, trailer for Madden amongst a whole lot of other information came out. There's no way I'll be able to fit it all into one video, so expect a ton of content over the next days, maybe even. And those like news articles written from different sources about their impressions on the game, different YouTubers, things like that. First, let's go through the trailer here. I got some, I don't even know where we're going to start, where we're going to stop. But let's start with this. We're going to play it through once, and then I am going to kind of give my thoughts on the rest of the trailer. We'll break it down frame by frame.
Football.
Wait, hang on. I didn't mute it.
John Madden changed the foundation of football, teaching, coaching, and broadcasting the sport through the tip of a pen.
The left goes to right, the right goes to left.
To further his vision of sharing real football, we've created FieldSense, an all-new gameplay system. FieldSense changes the foundation of how you play by giving you more control all over the field. Control to put the ball where only your receiver can catch it. Control to make explosive cuts each time you put your foot in the ground. Control to break loose with new mechanics and cheetah speed.
Is he happy?
FieldSense gives you the power to read, react, and hit everything. With more control to blow up a play from any position on every down. So when coach says,
play like hell when I tell you to.
You can. Play like mad with FieldSense.
Yeah, so looks like we got 99 Madden 22. Sweet. Anyways, it's hard not to get like a little tingly when you hear John Madden speak. But let's go back through one by one. I think I'm gonna mute it here. Well, I guess let's unmute it right here.
John Madden changed the foundation of football.
True.
Teaching, coaching, and broadcasting the sport through the tip of a pen.
The left goes to right, the right goes to left.
To further his vision of sharing real football, we've created FieldSense, an all-new gameplay system.
All right, so FieldSense, all new gameplay system. It's kind of marketing right there, obviously. That like it's a new gameplay system, but basically it's a bunch of tweaks under a name, right? Like they do this every year for Madden. It's basically they change some issues. Like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, Madden's the same thing year over year. I mean, if you play this game at like a higher level, if you're not Johnny Q Timmy and, you know, just basically play 3 games of Madden and say it's the same thing because it's football every year, you're wrong, right? The meta shifts every year. And it looks like we're getting more meta shifting things, which, you know, it's important, right? We don't want to see the same low point wheel routes, escape artist spam year over year. But I like that, like, they're focusing on fixing the game. Obviously, we're getting some differences, some improvements, but, like, I don't care what you call it as long as the game is getting fixed on certain overpowered aspects of it. So FieldSense is what they're calling it, which is fine. They could call it, they could poop in a box and sell it to me, a woman in white gloves to catch a popsicle and put a guarantee on it, but you can stick your head up the butcher's ass and I'd buy it, right? Because I don't care what it's called. Just give me an improved game.
FieldSense changes the
Joe Burrow with the strong anaconda vibes. He can really extend that, huh? Joe Burrow can't hurt you. Joe Burrow. I don't know why. It's just creepy. I think it's going this way that's creepiest.
FieldSense changes the foundation of how you play.
That looked a lot like remember the next gen graphics they promised us a couple years ago with Tom Brady? This looks exactly like it. So there's like, wasn't there like Von Miller out here? So different
how
team.
you play by giving you more control.
Same Von.
All over the field. Control to put the ball. So
like, this looks a lot like target passing except better, right? Target passing was a thing, and you know, there's only so many things you do in a football game, right? We've given our suggestions. This is not a bad idea, right? Like, target passing, I think, was close. I always said target passing back in the day, it only needed the defense to react a little bit slower to it. Now, target passing was something that, like, you could just target all over the field. This one, it looks like, you know, it's got, like, a little shaded out spot that you can only go so far with it away from the player. You can put it at the max distance. I think, based off the leaks, you can go further than this by hitting a different button. But it is kind of neat to have the ability to put the ball where you want it, because how often in this game do we pass the ball? I'm like, that wasn't passed out exactly what I wanted. Like, this is going to be incredible for like back shoulder phase of the end zone if it's available. This is going to be incredible for like fitting in a tight coverage. We'll see. Like, and it depends on how well the defense versus the receiver reacts to it. But from what I'm hearing, defense is kind of juiced as of now. But we'll go through gameplay stuff in a different video, like I talked about. We got a lot to go through here. So this is, I think, I don't know how much this will be used. Like, the issue with these passing systems is either it's got to be like super overpowered because it's so complicated, right? Because like in Madden and in games in general, we want to win, and we want to win in simple ways that don't take a lot of taxing out of our brain. Because, you know, when you win in a hard way, it's satisfying, but it's really hard to do. It's very hard to be repeatable with it. So like this thing, which looks like it's a very high skill mechanic, which I don't know if it is, but it looks like it's very difficult. It's going to need to prove its value out there to us almost immediately for it to really catch on, unless there's some sort of glitch with it, which target passing saw a glitch that ended up getting patched. But there was like a glitch for about a month there was it Madden 18-ish? That was, you know, awful. But in the end, it really needs to prove its value. It really needs to make the defense like, I don't know if it needs to mess with the defense AI, but it needs to make these guys almost like superpower, or just, who knows. Just be slow, show that's better than classic passing is what I'm trying to say.
Ball where only your receiver can catch it.
Like right there, like this right here, like this pass right here. This is something you could easily do with regular passing. Like, this doesn't make sense to do it. If it was placed like right here, that might be a different thing. But we'll see. We will really see how important this is to get around coverage.
Catch it. I've been going crazy. I've been doing my thing. Control to make explosive cuts each time you put your foot in the ground.
So this is like the one cut system we had a few years ago, from what I'm seeing. I think 2 years ago was the last time we saw this. They took it out because it was a little powerful. We had one cuts on offense and defense last gen. If you guys recall, last gen movement was insane with like, you know, you literally go from 0 to 100 and like beat receivers that were already like almost in full sprint because of how like it didn't start off that way, but the way they made improvements to it over the years, that's how it ended up becoming. So like I'm a little bit concerned that like this is something we saw and didn't like before. So like these are two things from like the Rex era that are kind of getting recycled now. Like, oh wait, that was a good idea. Let's just keep refining that instead of taking it out and then putting it back in. So like these, like you guys are hearing me saying these are the same things we've already had the last couple of years. It's not that I'm not excited for it, right? Like anything that's tuned and improved is great because like running backs do make cuts, but I guess I'll see how it plays out on the field. These marketing terms of the one cut system.
Control to break loose with new mechanics.
Like, and I always hate if they have to if they buff runners. Oh, that's the worst. If this game's a running game, that's terrible. So like the one cut system, it's good for everybody though. Even like receivers getting the ball. Like if we can get stop and goes back effectively, those were really fun. Like I think Madden plays best when you're beating people with the left joystick. When you're moving this like this, it plays terrible when you're triggering animations and sucking them into like spins and jukes and stuff. That's when Madden is really bad, right? The Madden 18 Barry Sanders spin, like that is terrible. Great Madden, terrible Madden. Okay, because we don't love these predetermined animations that kind of just like make our cornerback and our linebackers look like rag dolls out there trying to tackle a freaking NFL running back. Okay, so one cut system, we'll see how it's put in, but I'm not going to be negative about it before we actually get my hands on it because it could be better. Because I don't want it to be a juke spin year because, frankly, that's in my opinion, is bad gameplay. Here, let me go back.
Mechanics and cheetah speed.
Cheetah speed.
Control to break loose with new mechanics and cheetah.
Control to break loose with new mechanics is very vague. It reminds me of like tackle battles.
Speed.
Oh, is he happy?
They just put a penalty into their game. They'd be like showing like a clothesline hit in this. Terrible, 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 terrible.
FieldSense gives you the power to read, react, and hit everything. With more
Mid-air knockouts. This is something we're going to talk about in the gameplay video on this. Mid-air knockouts is interesting because, like, Madden 22, their whole focus was around taking animations out of mid-air stuff. And it looks like they're, wait a second, let's bring back Few. Because, like, we did get, it was awful when you were getting just spec cut on the whole game. Like, you just throw to a tall receiver and they just cut in front of the ball and catch it. So this is absolutely neat.
with more control to blow up a play from any position on every down.
Yeah, bro.
So when coach says,
Play like hell when I tell you to.
you can. Play like mad with FieldSense.
Overall, I think it's a decent trailer, okay? I think it's a decent trailer itself. A lot of things that they're kind of like alluding to in here. We'll get more into the deep dive and give our thoughts on what EA shows. There's a lot of content to come. That's going to be my wrap on the trailer itself. Check it, like this video, just wait, you know, over this, the next days, it's going to be a lot of things got revealed. I don't know why they reveal it all at once. It's overwhelming, and they have to do it so early in the morning, man. West Coasters, get effed. All right, please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching Call to Action. I'll see you tomorrow.